Well, I think we're all here, present, everyone here. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see a lot of familiar faces out there in the crowd, and we thank each of you for coming out tonight to really come and hear some information that I think will be very beneficial for you this evening. Can you hear me okay in the back? My voice is failing. Can we bump it just a little bit? I've been seeing patients all day today, so after talking for hours and hours and hours, this is the evening voice. My wife actually likes this voice. She says it works very well for her. So thanks again for coming tonight. I'm Dr. Christmon, Keith Christmon. I'm one of the partners at Premier Private Physicians. You'll actually be hearing from my other two partners, Dr. John Blanchard, Dr. Lori Ann Washi, tonight. But we're very happy to have you here tonight because we do have some information that we're very excited to share with you. Some information that we believe has been a very well-kept secret for a long time, and we're trying to change that. We want patients, we want individuals to know that there is a good choice available. As you look at the scope of healthcare and you look at things that are changing and you look at your experiences in the doctor's offices and you experience increased frustration, there's hope, okay? And we're going to share with you some very exciting information tonight that I believe will have you leaving today saying, I'm going to be okay. How about that? I'm going to actually make it. I'm going to have good care again. Wouldn't that be a wonderful thing? You guys are a little quiet for me. That's what we want. Because I will tell you, second to health, there's nothing more important. Okay, I think most of you would agree with that. Some of you here in this audience tonight, based on the numbers, I would estimate that this is probably a good fact. Some of you probably have had some serious health challenges, some very real crisis points in your life. And I will tell you for a fact, when you're staring death and mortality in the face, one of the things you want is you want to know that the person who's helping me to navigate through and to come out of this crisis moment is someone who really knows me and cares about me. And that used to be the relationship. That used to be the relationship that every doctor and patient had, but something's happened. And a lot of it, unfortunately and sadly, is not the fault of the doctor. A lot of it's not that the doctor's bad, it's that the system, unfortunately, has changed and is now frustrating the doctor's effort to deliver the quality of care and keep that relationship with the patients that he had years ago. The Marcus Welby days, right? We want those days back where we can have that. So we're going to share some information with you tonight, and we've got a bonus for you. At the end of the podium there is a very skillful orthopedic surgeon who's going to give us some good information tonight that will help us keep our parts working properly. And we need this because, yes, to have quality health, we need you athletic, we need you moving, we need you dynamic with your bodies. So he's going to share some of his tips tonight and help us keep our parts moving in a good direction. He's going to help me with my golf swing a little bit after we finish tonight as well. So we're happy. But again, welcome, welcome. I want to alert you real quick as we get started to an adjustment. There is a small adjustment in the schedule. What we're going to do is we're going to change the batting order a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to have Dr. Rill speak first, okay? So he'll be our leadoff batter, and then we'll have Dr. Blanchard, and our closer will be none other than Dr. Lori Ann Washi. She closes very well.
He's fantastic.
But that'll be the only change. Everything else will be the same. And at the end, we will certainly have the time for question and answer period at the end.
You're a tiger.
As we start, I want to acknowledge a few folks here tonight who are very, very special individuals. And my vision is not so good in light like this, so I'm not going to be able to find these folks easy. But I think I've met and greeted each of them tonight. I'm looking for Mike Lewis. Where is he? Mike Lewis is in the back. See what I mean? I couldn't even see him back there. So Mike Lewis. Mike, thank you, absolutely. I'm going to tell you a couple things about Mike Lewis. Mike Lewis is the president and CEO of a very, very good healthcare agency, a home healthcare agency. They provide home healthcare services and hospice services for patients who need that in this region. We've had personal experience, my practice partners have as well, and if you need home healthcare or hospice, that's the agency you want to make contact with. They treat you like family. But Mike, the reason I wanted him to be, I want you to take a look at him because he's the one who's responsible for us being able to host this venue here tonight. We're not members of Oakland Hill, and actually I wish I was because I'm a very avid golfer and I'd love the opportunity to play this beautiful course, host of the 2008 PGA Championship. Was that amazing? I don't know if any of you remember that one with Padraig Harrington and Sergio Garcia battling it out. But a beautiful, beautiful place to hold this venue tonight, and it's very comfortable. Hopefully you're enjoying yourself. But the reason I wanted to point out Mike is he's a patient of Dr. Blanchard, and he was very helpful, as I mentioned, to get us this venue as an option. But the other thing that was really helpful is as we begin to have the negotiations to talk about payment and get the catering taken care of and handle all these bills, Mike was actually right there in that discussion, okay? And we had the discussion. I won't tell you when the catering company asked specifically how to pay for this event. They asked who would be paying for it. I won't tell you how that resolved, but I will invite each of you to have another drink tonight. Okay? So we thank you, Mike. We thank you so much for that, and absolutely we're grateful. We'll limit them to 2. Yes, we also are very appreciative for Senator Colbeck. And yes, he's standing in the back there. Senator Colbeck, Patrick Colbeck, thank you so much for coming. He's one of our strong allies and advocates on this arena to fight for the rights to protect this model of health care. He's been battling for years, both in Washington and here in our state. And in fact, some of you may know that this year in January, his bill that he introduced, that he crafted and designed, was signed into law by Governor Snyder, which will serve to protect this model of care. So, Senator, thank you for being in our corner. He gets it. He understands the model that you'll learn about tonight, and we're very appreciative for your continued support. One more person I'll just mention. I don't think she's here, but Lynn Terosian, I don't believe she's here tonight. She is the president and CEO of Henry Ford West Bloomfield. Very, very strong ally of ours. She has worked with us over the last year to get the word out about this model of healthcare, which we're offering here, and she's been very, very supportive of that. So in her absence, we want to thank her. What I want to do as we start now, because you all are ready to hear this information and we're ready to share. The doctors are, I don't know if you can see their feet are tapping. They're ready to go, and they've got some strong presentations to present. But what I want to remind you of is we've got a time interval that I'll try to keep us on point with. And this job here as moderator is not an easy one. I don't know if you've ever had some people have maybe been in this position. It's not easy. What I have to do is I have to keep these experts in line. I have to make sure that they don't talk, Dr. Blanchard, for hours and hours at a time. I have to make sure that they stay in their lane and keep us on schedule. So we're going to work with their cooperation to do that. But the other thing I'm going to ask of you is as they're presenting, they do have some very good information for you. They prepared a lot of good information for you. But what I would ask you to do is if you have a question, if you can hold that question. We've got designated time at the end of the presentations where we're going to address those questions. So if you can hold those questions, that will allow us to get the flow, let the presenter complete their thoughts, and just let things go smoothly that way. So I promise you, if you can just sit on it, don't forget it, write it down if you need to. We'll address those at the end of the session. The one thing I would ask, though, in regards to questions, sometimes in venues like this, the questions can sometimes get very narrow, okay? Very individualized, very specific. If it's that specific and it's mainly an issue that you want your answer to, if you could actually wait until the end of the Q&A, and we'll be around. We're going to stay here and come up to us one-on-one. We can answer that question. What we're trying to do for that Q&A session is just have it where those 25 common questions can be addressed and answered so that people walk away with the most information. So if you can help us with that, I would appreciate that. Is that fair?